2021 has been quite a year, for better or for worse. The same can be said for RWBY. It's been confirmed that Volume 9 won't be released until 2022. But in the meantime, we still get RWBY spin-offs. We got a quote-unquote return of RWBY Chibi, and the show I'll be talking about today, RWBY Fairy Tales. The reaction to the spin-off was a resounding okay. The characters were okay, the stories were okay, and the animation was okay. My thoughts are pretty much the same, but there is one element that makes the viewing experience worthwhile. The series depicts the various fairy tales of Remnant, told to us by Professor Ozpin. Think Jim Henson's The Storyteller, but animated. The first story is called Grimchild. This tells the story of a girl daring her little brother to go into the woods. However, the little brother comes down with something and is brought back to the village. Later, the girl wakes up to find that everyone in her village is dead. Nothing much to say, it's a wonderfully unsettling story. I am not gonna give away the twist ending, for it is a shocker. The second story, The Hunter's Children, tells the story of a group of siblings trying to make their place in the world after the death of their father. But soon they learn they are stronger together than apart. The characters are a bit interesting. Having them be people of color is a welcome addition, the scenario is relatable, and the moral is strong. This story is okay. The third story is The Shallow Sea. This tells the possible origins of the Faunus. And yes, I said origins. They show us two stories on how the Faunus came to be. I think that this is very clever, knowing that there are so many versions of the beginning of life in so many different cultures. And this story plays around with that. It also has a Rudyard Kipling feel, which matches the Faunus to a T. Rise of King is another one I put in the just okay category. This story tells of a wise king who is given a crown that makes him see the future. This makes him fear that any choice he makes will end in disaster. Thankfully, he gets help from a poor Faunus girl. I literally have nothing else to say about this one. The final two stories, on the other hand, is where things get interesting. These are the ones I really want to talk about. Girl in the Tower once again tells the backstory of Salem, but instead of repeating the same thing that was said in Volume 6, this time they expand upon it. They show us why Salem lived in the tower and what her relationship with her father was like, showing the building blocks of what made her the way she is. The final story is Warrior in the Woods, which tells the story of a boy who encounters a huntress who has been protecting his village for years. This story is fascinating in that it wasn't narrated by Ozpin, instead it's Tai Yang. These two episodes back to back got me thinking of something that I never thought of before. What if RWBY and Ozpin are polar opposites? Not in the sense of being arch enemies, but in general. We see throughout the series that RWBY is seen as optimistic, while Oz is seen as practical. But when the worst things are revealed, Ozpin caves in, but RWBY continues to move forward. Perhaps RWBY is the embodiment of hope. The endings of these episodes kind of hit on that. Girl in the Tower ends on a dour note, while Warrior in the Woods ends on a hopeful note. And I think that is what we all need. So, this Christmas, in the face of the worst things in the world right now, remember, there is always hope, and we should never lose it. Enjoyed this review, and I wish you a safe Merry Christmas and a safer Happy New Year.
Do you want to hear another story?
Nope. That one was perfect.